On this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast, cut $300 or more from your monthly budget.
Welcome to the Crushing Debt Podcast with your host, Florida attorney Sean Yesner, where our goal is to help you get rid of the financial bullies in your life.
So welcome back to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. My name is Sean Yesner, owner and founder of Yesner Law. And so welcome. While I don't normally announce the number of the episode in the title, this is episode 300. And sort of blows my mind that 6-7 years ago, I started this little podcast to help support the law firm. And I'm now recording and you're listening to the 300th weekly episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast. So I can't say thank you enough. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to all the guests that we've had along the way. Thank you to our sponsor. Our sponsor is Sam Cohen. He provides malpractice coverage or errors and omissions insurance, professional liability insurance to attorneys and title companies all over the country. Now, I know he's looking specifically for Florida attorneys and Texas attorneys, but he can literally write title insurance anywhere. Not title insurance, I'm sorry, malpractice insurance anywhere in the country. So a great way to support the show, in addition to listening to 300 episodes worth of content, a great way to support the show would be to support our sponsor, Sam at Attorneys First Insurance, and a great way to support him would be to introduce an attorney or a title company that you know to Attorneys First Insurance. You can contact Sam at sam@attorneysfirst.com, or the website is attorneysfirst.com. So episode 300, what I thought I'd talk about are different ways. And so I actually came up with 18 different ways to cut $300 or more from your budget. Why $300 or more? Because this is episode 300. So let's focus on the number 300. Now, this is cutting $300 or more from your monthly budget. And so adding up some of these things or doing some of these things in combination could end up saving you more than $300, freeing up more than $300 a month from your monthly budget. But I wanted to go through each of the 18, maybe talk a little bit about each one of the 18, and then again, either individually or cumulatively, the goal here would be to cut at least $300, give you $300 or more back into your pocket every month. So let me start with the first one here. Number one, reducing or eliminating subscriptions you no longer use. This could be gym memberships. This could be magazine subscriptions. This could be any type of online gaming subscription, any kind of subscription that you no longer use. Now, if you still utilize the subscription, if you still go to the gym on a regular basis, keep paying for it, fine. But if you're not using the subscription anymore, if this company is just taking money from your bank account every month, cut it, eliminate it, reduce it, and get that money back into your budget. You'd be surprised. A small cut here, a small cut there, cutting a $200 yearly subscription to a magazine that maybe you could read for free online, or maybe it's a cheaper subscription online because there aren't as much production costs to produce the physical copy that you receive. There aren't as much in terms of mailing costs for generating the physical copy that you receive. You know, you cut $15, $20, $50, $75 on a gym membership. You cut $200, $300, $150, whatever it is from an annual membership. And very slowly you start to build up to the point where you could actually save up to $300 a month just by looking at the subscriptions that you have that you no longer use. So that's my first one. My second one, sort of along the same lines, work out at home versus the gym. And so a lot of us have or have had gym memberships. I've had multiple gym memberships in my lifetime. But those of you that know that I run with 2 run clubs, and each one of those run clubs, one meets on a Monday night, one meets on a Wednesday night. I don't have to pay a subscription to be a part of these run clubs. They are free for me to be a part of the run clubs. Now, we run out of a restaurant on Monday night. We run out of a bar on Wednesday night. And so there may be additional money there to get something to eat when we get back to the restaurant, or get a drink, or get something like that. But it's not going to be as expensive as the gym membership. Now, again, I've got friends that own gyms. I'm not saying cancel your gym membership. What I'm saying is if you don't use the gym membership, there are free alternatives out there. You can work out at home. You can do sit-ups. You can do push-ups. You can do yoga. You can do meditation. There's all kinds of things you can do at home. You can go for a run in your neighborhood. You can go for a walk. You can go for a bike ride. You can go rollerblading. You can go to a local park. You can walk around the park. You can play basketball. You can find someone and play tennis. There's all different types of physical activity you can do for free without having to pay the gym. Now, again, if you use the gym, if you meet people at the gym, if you network at the gym, if you use the gym, absolutely continue with your gym membership. But one way to cut that money out of your budget, you can pick up things that you can do for free and save the money that you would otherwise be spending at the gym. Number 3, clip coupons and make a grocery list. Now, these really could be separated into two. Number 1, clip coupons. Number 2, make a grocery list. I combined them. And again, you're not going to save hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Now, maybe you will if you cut and clip and hoard all these coupons and use them all correctly and properly. But again, how many of us still get the Bed Bath & Beyond coupons? And if you need something and you find the Bed Bath & Beyond and you can get 20% off. How many of us get the coupons? Again, things we're going to use, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But clipping coupons, if you saved every time you went to the grocery store, if you saved $50, if you saved $30, and you went once a week, that's $200. That's $120 to $200 in savings just by clipping coupons. And along with that, when you go grocery shopping, make and use a grocery list. That way, number 1, you don't forget anything, which causes you to go back. Because what happens when you go back to the grocery store to get something you've forgotten? Well, you also get something else. The grocery stores are very, very good at putting things in places that make you see stuff that you otherwise wouldn't normally buy. So the more times you're in the grocery store, or any store for that matter, the more times you're going to buy stuff that you may not want or may not need. So reduce the desire, reduce the temptation of going to the grocery store more than once a week or once every 2 weeks or however often you go grocery shopping by making a list. And that way you don't forget anything, or it's less likely that you forget something. One other thing about making a grocery list is that you're going to get what's on that grocery list. You're not necessarily going to get the other stuff because it wasn't written down on your grocery list. So you're only going to get the things that you intended to get, and you're only going to use and eat the things that you intended to use and eat. Less things to spoil if you buy less. Less things to go bad. Less things to get moldy if you buy less. So again, clip coupons, make a grocery list. You can save some money that way. Another way to cut some money from your budget is to shop in bulk. I'm a member, I've talked about it before, I'm a member of Costco here in Tampa, and I shop in bulk. I mean, I can get toilet paper, I can get paper towels, I can get hand soap, dish soap, eggs, egg whites, all these different kinds of things that I get on a regular basis that I use, that I eat. And I can get them for a lot cheaper than what it would cost to get them from the regular grocery store. Now, again, I'm not going to buy a vat of mayonnaise because that'll spoil before I use it all. But with me and my wife and 2 boys here in the house, yeah, we go through eggs pretty quick. And so I can buy 2 24 packs of eggs, and that lasts us for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I can get some more. And they're cheaper at Costco, eggs, than they are at the grocery store. And so shop in bulk, shop at the bulk warehouses. But here's number 5. Don't buy items that you don't use. And so again, sort of going back to the subscriptions, going back to the gym, going back to the grocery list. You can shop in bulk, that's fine. But like I said, I'm not going to buy a vat of mayonnaise because I'm never going to use it before it goes bad. So don't buy things that you won't use. I love avocados. I eat about an avocado a day. Those of you that listened a couple of episodes ago where I talked about my diabetes diagnosis, one of the things I'm doing to keep my sugar levels under control and to continue to eat healthy, I eat about 1 avocado a day. Now, some days I might skip whatever, but I bought those avocados at Costco in bulk. The problem was they were not yet ripe, and they were all picked and harvested around the same time. And so brought them home, waited a couple of days, tried to cut the first one open. I couldn't really get at the avocado meat because it was not yet ripe enough to eat, so I had to toss that one. A couple of days later, I tried another one, same thing. A couple of days later, they were all the perfect ripeness, and I couldn't eat them fast enough before they started to spoil. So now what I do is I go to Publix or I go to the local grocery store, and I buy 3 or 4 avocados in different stages of ripeness because I can pick them individually, and then I know that they're going to last me for the 3, 4, 5 days that I've bought avocados for. So again, number 4 is shop in bulk. But tip number 5 here is don't buy items that you don't use. Now, sort of tip number 5A, don't buy items just because they're on sale unless you're going to use them. So a lot of people will say, well, I bought this thing because it's on sale. Well, and I get that. You bought it because it was on sale and you got a great deal on it. But if you don't use it and it just spoils, then you're just wasting your money, even though you got it at a discount if you were never going to use it. Now, what I do, for example, like if I go to the grocery store and I'm looking at buying coffee, for example, and I have a Keurig here at the house that I use to make a daily cup of coffee, I'll typically look for the Keurig K-Cups that are buy one, get one free. Now, I know that I have my specific brands that I like, but if I see a buy one, get one free, I'll buy that because I know I'll use it. Now, if I see a brand I don't like, I won't buy it because I won't enjoy that coffee. In that instance, I'll spend the extra $2, $3, $4 and I'll buy the brand that I like. But if I see a buy one, get one, I'll typically use the buy one, get one as long as I know I'm going to eat it. As long as I know I'm going to use it, as long as I know I'm going to consume it. So again, don't buy things just because they're on sale. If it's something you're going to use, absolutely, and it's on sale, absolutely buy it. If it's something you're going to use and you have a coupon for it, absolutely use the coupon and buy it. But you're just wasting money if you're going to buy something just because it's on sale and you're never going to use it and it's going to go bad. Every couple of months, maybe twice, 3 times a year, once a year, whatever, I empty out the pantry here in the house and I have to toss things. I found stuff in my pantry that's 2, 3 years old in terms of spoiled 2, 3 years ago, and I just toss it out. And then I get a little bit upset that I spent the money to buy it and then we didn't use it. I love when I can use the last of something and then throw the packaging away because that means I've gotten the value for my money. I've used everything that I intended to use. And I'm not just talking about groceries. I'm talking about anything and everything. Soap, toothpaste, razors, other things that you wouldn't necessarily get at a grocery store, books, all these other kinds of things. Don't just buy something because it's on sale. Buy it because you're going to use it, and you will save money that way. Number 6, and this applies to big purchases. Number 6, have a cooling off period. In other words, don't buy on impulse. Don't buy because it's on sale. Don't buy because it's in your face. Don't buy because it's cool. Do your research, figure out what you want, and then give yourself a cooling off period. I promise you, the sale will likely last another few days if what you want to get is on sale. I promise you. Or the sale will come back around. Or you'll figure out in that cooling off period you didn't need it in the first place. One of the things I like to talk about, and we did it again this year, every Black Friday, Legoland has a sale on Legoland tickets. And so every Black Friday, this year I think we did it on the Sunday or the Monday or the Tuesday, but whatever, every Black Friday we buy tickets to go to Legoland. Now, you don't have to use the tickets on the day you buy them. You can book it at a future date. And part of the reason we like the Black Friday sale, the Black Friday special, is it's 50% off. So I can take my wife and my 2 kids to Legoland for 50% off what it would be if you just bought tickets, today, for example, as you're listening to this episode, unless they're running that special still. But we know we're going to use them. And you know what? If I happen to miss the Black Friday deal, I'll just wait till it rolls around next year. We don't have to go to Legoland every year. My wife is going to be floored if she actually listens to this episode by me saying we don't have to go to Legoland every year. So if we miss the sale, I'm not going to buy the Legoland tickets just to buy the Legoland tickets. Maybe I'll wait until next Black Friday when the sale rolls around again, and I'll buy it again. There's like I said, the coffees that I like, the Keurig coffees that I like. I wait till the buy one, get one free specials roll around before I buy the next thing of Keurigs. Now, if I need some more K-Cups, I'll buy some more K-Cups. But typically, that buy one, get one free will roll around again. So I'm not just going to buy coffee to buy coffee. I'm going to wait for the buy one, get one sale to roll around again. So again, give yourself a cooling off period. You don't have to buy something when you see it. Even if they say sale ends tomorrow, you can always negotiate something. If it's electronics or something like that, you can always negotiate something. The sale will always come back. There will always be the newest thing that comes around that drops the price of the one you're looking at. So again, don't worry about fear of missing out, FOMO, fear of missing out. Give yourself a cooling off period, and maybe you won't buy the thing and you'll save yourself some money. Or maybe the sale will come around and you'll be able to save money. Or maybe you'll buy something that you will actually use. Maybe the cooling off period, you get to the end of 24 hours and you say, you know what? Even though I've had the cooling off period, I still want or need this thing. And if you're going to do that and you're going to use it, again, not a waste of money. So give yourself a cooling off period. Number 7, stop eating out. Now, I know this from experience as a father of a family of 4. It costs, to find some place that the 4 of us can eat for less than $50 is almost a miracle. However, I know that I can go to Publix and for $50, I can buy a few days worth of groceries. Where if we go out to eat, $50 is going to buy us one meal's worth. So if you stop eating out, now I get it. It helps to eat out. Those of us that have businesses, at least as I record this, I think for this year, 2021 and 2022, meals are fully deductible where they used to be 50% deductible. So there may be other reasons that if you're entertaining, if you're trying to get clients, if you're doing something like that, you might want to eat out. But again, if you bring your lunch to work, if you make dinners at home. Now, again, I'm not saying don't live your life. If you want to go out to eat once a week, go out to eat once a week. There's no harm in that. But if you're eating out every day, I will pretty much guarantee you that if you substitute at least half of those going out to eat meals with home cooked or home brought or leftover type meals, you will definitely save a lot of money by not eating out. Number 8, and this is one I've talked about before, adjust your tax withholdings. So again, everyone likes getting that big refund come tax time. January, February, March, April, whatever. You get that big refund. But think about what that refund represents. That refund represents an overpayment to the U.S. government, an overpayment of taxes to the U.S. government. In other words, the U.S. government gets to use your money for free, interest-free. And then you ask for it back in January, February, whenever you file your tax return. Well, if you're consistently getting $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 back in tax refunds, let's say you're getting $4,000 back in tax refunds, you can have your employer withhold $200 less every month. So instead of withholding where you get a $4,000 refund, you're going to get $200 extra in your paycheck. 200 times 12 months is $2,400. You're still going to get roughly a $1,600 refund. Now, that assumes nothing's changed from last year to this year, and that assumes the tax laws haven't changed, and that assumes your tax bracket hasn't changed. And before you do something like this, definitely talk to your CPA. But even if you said, you know what, I'm consistently getting $4,000 refunds every year, I'm going to have my employer give me an extra $300 a month. I'm going to have them withhold $300 less every month from my paycheck. You're going to instantly get $300 a month more in your paycheck just because it's less that they're withholding. And when it comes time for your refund, you're going to get $400. You're still going to get a refund. So again, if you adjust your tax withholdings, talk to your CPA, figure out what you can do comfortably, start small. This year, start at $50. If you see you still get a decent size refund, next year go to $100. If you see that you get a decent size refund, the next year $150 or $200. Inch it up until you see that your refund gets closer and closer to zero. For me personally, I like to have the extra cash flow in my monthly paychecks rather than getting that big refund at the end when I file my tax return. Now that's me. Now, if you think, well, that's cool, but if I get an extra $300 in my budget, I'm going to spend an extra $300. Well, then have that extra $300 routed to a savings account. Have it routed to a retirement account. Have it routed somewhere where you're not used to getting it in your checkbook. And then that way, not only can you start to save that money, but you can also invest that money and use it to produce more money. So this is one of my favorite ways, and this is something that I typically do every year when I file my tax return, is I take a look at what were my withholdings, what was my refund, and can I adjust my withholdings for the following year? And just doing this one little tip, I've increased my take-home pay by hundreds and hundreds more, much more than $300 a month. So again, adjust your income tax withholdings. Number 9 sort of goes with number 6, the cooling off period. But number 9 is shop around, comparison shop. Listen, I have people do this to me as an attorney. They consult with me, we have our free consultation, and they say thank you, but I've got an appointment with another attorney. I'm not afraid of being comparison shopped myself because I know I'm a good attorney. I know I'm giving them a good deal. And really, it's more about whether I click with the person rather than whether I'm a better or worse attorney than the next guy down the block. So I'm not worried about that. And people comparison shop me all the time. But there's no reason you can't comparison shop yourself. You know, if you're trying to buy something for your home improvement at Lowe's, well, could you get it cheaper at Home Depot? Could you get it from a specialty store? I have a lot of contractors and a lot of tradespeople that I work with, cabinet shop makers, electricians, plumbers. They may be slightly more expensive than the big box stores, but they're going to be more reliable. They're going to be a better quality. So again, shop around. Shop around for better deals. Shop around for coupons. Shop around for Memorial Day sales, Labor Day sales, Black Friday sales, Christmas sales, New Year's sales. Everybody always has a sale. So shop around for the different things that you might want to buy. Combine that with a cooling off period, and eventually you will see that you will start to save a lot of money. My 10th tip here, cut the cable cord. Cutting the cable cord saved me, I think it was something like $250 a month. You can cut the cable cord. You can substitute that with YouTube Live. Or YouTube TV rather, Hulu, all these other Netflix, Disney Plus, all these other streaming services that are a lot cheaper than what the cable companies charge, and you get in essence the exact same channels. And with YouTube TV, you get all the sports, you get it live. So cut the cable cord. I mean, a lot of times the cable companies, I think, have taken advantage of this little mini monopoly that they have, and I just don't understand why it was $280 something a month for me to have a cable, internet, and phone. Now, I don't have a phone plugged into any outlet in my house at all. So we all rely on our cell phones now. So why am I paying to have a landline when I don't have any phones plugged into the landline? It made no sense. So number 9, cut the cable cord. Number 10, cut the cable cord. Number 11, negotiate. Everything, I think, is negotiable. You can modify your student loan payments if those are really high. You can talk to your credit card company if your credit card balances are high. You can talk to your mortgage company if your mortgage payments are high. You can talk to your insurance company if your insurance payments are high. Everything is negotiable. And all you're doing is you're calling and asking. The worst thing that they can do is say no. So if you have a 9% interest rate and you call your credit card company and you say, listen, I'd really like to see if I can negotiate something here where I can drop my interest rate, and they say no, they're not going to say no, and because you asked, we're raising your interest rate. They're just going to say no. You're in no worse off position than you were before you made the phone call. The only thing you spent was a few minutes of your time. Now, I know time is precious, time is valuable, but The trade-off there is if they say yes, you've invested that time to create more money in your budget. So in my mind, it's a very low-risk proposition. Call these different vendors that you use and ask the question. The worst they're going to do is say no. They're never going to say no, and we're going to raise your payments, we're going to raise your interest rate, we're going to raise this, we're going to raise that. They're going to say yes, here's your discount, or they're going to say no, I'm sorry, we can't do that for you. Those are the only two outcomes. So what is there to be afraid of there? Number 12, utilize your savings, utilities savings. So in other words, when you're not in a room, turn off the lights. Change your light bulbs to lower energy light bulbs. Adjust your thermostat. If you like the house at 75 degrees, you're not going to sweat at 76 degrees. Right? If you like your house at 72 degrees, you're not going to sweat at 73 degrees. If it's the wintertime and you have the house set at 72 degrees, you're not going to freeze at 71 degrees. So a temperature here, a temperature there, opening windows, letting the cross breeze through, adjusting your thermostat. Change your water heater temperature. There's no reason you need to burn your skin off in the shower. You can adjust the water heater so that it doesn't produce as hot of water, and that will save you. All these different little utilities, tricks, if you adjust a little bit here and you adjust a little bit there, will produce some massive power savings, some massive utilities savings. So again, adjust your utilities to create savings there. That's number 12. Number 13, trade in your car for a less expensive model. This one is hard. Admittedly, this one is hard because there's a lot of people out there, sometimes me included, that want to keep up with the Joneses. I'm an attorney. I need to present this certain image. I need to drive this certain car. But that's not necessarily true. I remember when I was an associate attorney down at a firm in Miami, I had a little GMC Sonoma pickup truck. And I was so proud of that pickup truck. I was never so popular, by the way, as when I had a pickup truck and when I turned 21. But I loved this little pickup truck. And I had an attorney at the law firm, another associate attorney, say at the law firm, an attorney shouldn't project a certain image by driving a pickup truck. Well, why the heck not? It was a GMC Sonoma. It was not, a beat up work Ford, whatever. It was a nice looking. It didn't have any rust on it. It didn't have any dings or dents on it. It had whatever normal wear and tear on it. It had a cover on the back. The inside was kept neat and tidy. So it looked good. So what difference does it make that it's a pickup truck versus a sedan versus a sports car versus, whatever? So I actually did this recently. I was paying, I want to say near $500 for an Infiniti. And when it came time to turn in that Infiniti, I needed a bigger car. I needed a bigger car because I'm taking my kids to soccer and baseball, and we need the chairs to go to the beach and to go sit and watch all the games and bring the coolers and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted a bigger SUV. And so I went from the Infiniti to a Nissan Rogue. Well, in going to the Nissan Rogue, I cut my payments from nearly $500 a month to around $300 a month. I saved $200 a month on my car payments. And you know what? This Nissan Rogue looks just as professional. It looks just as good. It looks just as nice as the Infiniti. And I tell you what, as a bankruptcy attorney, some of my clients may not want me pulling up in an Infiniti. They may think, wow, how much are you charging me for my bankruptcy if you're paying on this Infiniti? So, what image are you projecting? What image do you need to project? You don't necessarily need the brand new, newest, most expensive car. Now, if you can afford to do it, go for it, be my guest. My point is, you can cut some money from your budget. You can give yourself a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a raise by just getting a cheaper car. It doesn't have to be cheaper quality. It doesn't have to be cheaper style. It doesn't have to be cheaper appearance. It can just be cheaper in price, and you'll save yourself some money. Number 14, sign up for rewards programs. Now, sign up for rewards programs you will use. So again, if you sign up for a rewards program that gives you points at Disney World, but you never go to Disney World, well, then what the heck good is it doing you? If you sign up for a rewards program that gives you airplane miles, but you never take any trips, what good is it doing you? Sign up for cashback programs where you're actually going to take the cash back. For me, I look every December. So now we're in December as I record this, if you're listening to it on the day of release. And every time, every December, so right around now, is when I'll go to all my rewards cards and start pulling cash from those rewards cards. So, or maybe I'll look at it and I'll say, you know what, I don't need to pull the rewards this year. Let me just let it accumulate till next year. But you always have to be cognizant of when do those rewards expire. You always have to be aware of when do those rewards expire. Maybe I have to pull it because if I don't, they're going to expire in January, and rather than let them go to waste, sure, let me take the cash back. So again, sign up for rewards programs, but most importantly, sign up for rewards programs that you will use. And again, don't sign up for this 10% off if you get a credit card with us, because that just gets too tempting to run up that card and now you've just created more debt. Yeah, you're saving 10% in the short term, but believe you me, these banks and these finance companies are building that 10% back into the price that you're paying for the product, number one. And number two, they're banking on the fact that you can't control yourself and you're going to use this card again and again and again to the point that it carries a balance. And even though they gave you 10% off of that blouse or 10% off of that pair of jeans, they're going to end up earning 18% interest on you when you don't pay it back, or when you don't pay it back in full on time. So again, I would avoid the 10% off if you get a new credit card deals. So that's number 14. Sort of along the same lines, number 15, leave the credit cards at home. You won't spend the credit cards if they're not in your wallet. If all you have on you is a debit card, you're going to think twice before making that purchase. And again, I'm not talking about always use your debit card. Debit cards are potential targets for fraud. And so if there are times where I want to be more secure in my transactions, yeah, absolutely, I'll use a credit card and then pay it off. But what I'm saying is, if you have a lot of credit cards and those credit cards are carrying balances, having those cards on you and having the temptation to whip out the credit card versus taking out cash from the ATM and paying cash, or using your debit card or something like that, you're going to end up spending more money if you have the credit cards on you versus leaving them at home. And you know what happens? If you don't charge things to these credit cards, but you continue to pay on them, the balances will go down faster. So you'll be doing yourself a favor. So leave the credit cards at home. You will end up buying less. Number 16 is something that I mentioned up in number 2, working out at home versus the gym. Number 16 is along the same lines. Free entertainment. There is so much that you can do out there for free that you don't have to pay to do. You should take advantage of it. Like I said, running. I get to run twice a week with a group of friends for free. What other things are free? Family game nights are free. Going to the library is free. My community here has what we call movies in the park. So once a month during the cooler months, the homeowners association will rent a truck. They'll project a movie onto the side of that truck. We got water bottles. We got popcorn. We bring our chairs out there, and we get free entertainment. We get to see the movie for free. Netflix and Disney Plus night. Again, I get those are subscription services, but you can watch Disney Plus, you can watch Netflix instead of, for whatever it is, $9.95 a month, $15.95 a month, whatever, for the entire family, versus going to a movie that's $15 per person. So you can have the subscription to Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or any of these streaming movie services and avoid going to the movie theater and save a ton of money there. Again, you can go to the park. You can go to the playground. You can go to the pool. If you have a pool in your house, if you have a community pool, those are free. You can meet up with friends. We're making plans to meet up with friends here this weekend. And we're going to barbecue, we're going to hang out, we're going to have a good time. There's so much out there that you can do for free. You don't have to pay money to have a good time. There's a ton of stuff you can do out there for free. And again, you don't have to tell people, well, thank you for the invite, but we don't have enough money to do that. You could say, thank you for the invite, but tonight we were really planning on staying home and doing a family game night. You're welcome to join us. Or thank you very much for the invite, but tonight we were planning on staying home and grilling out, doing a cookout. You're welcome to join us. There's so much out there that you can do for free that won't cost you a penny. versus paying money to go out and have some fun. I mean, now again, it's worth it. We went to Topgolf a couple of weekends ago, and that ended up being like a $150 bill. But it's not something that we're going to do every night. It's not something we're going to do every week. It's not something we're going to do every month. It's something we're going to do once in a while. And once in a while, go out and have some fun with the family. Like I said, we've got a vacation planned to Disney. We've got a vacation planned to Legoland. We're going to probably take some more vacations here as the year goes on. So absolutely do stuff that you have to pay for to have some fun. Just don't do it all the time. Take advantage of some of the free stuff that you can do and have a great time with your family. Number 17, declutter. Declutter your house. But along with that, sell the stuff that you don't use. Or donate it. Donate it and see if you can take the deduction. If I've got a ton of polo shirts in my closet, and frankly, I haven't worn some of them in 2 or 3 or 4 years, I could donate those clothes to Goodwill, feel better about myself for having made the donation, feel like I'm helping people out by having made the donation, potentially get a tax refund for making the donation, reducing the clutter in my closet. I could sell the stuff at a garage sale. My community, those of you that are longtime listeners know we have 2 garage sales a year. And typically when I participate, I do some kind of sales lesson arising from that garage sale. And at some of those garage sales, I've made hundreds of dollars selling stuff that we just frankly don't use anymore. So again, declutter. Number 1, it'll make you feel better. Number 2, it'll help you find stuff easier. Number 3, decluttering will help you with those grocery lists that I talked about earlier. Decluttering will help you not have food spoiled because you don't know that it's sitting in the back of the fridge wasting away. Decluttering will help not only declutter your space, but it'll also declutter your mind. It'll help you think better. It'll help you relax more. And doing all of that stuff, you'll be able to either sell or donate, and you'll be able to make up some money that way. This last one, cut out the vices. Now, I say this one with a grain of salt, and I say this one carefully, but cut out the vices. I went from, frankly, this diabetes diagnosis, I went from drinking 1 or 2 beers on average per night, never to the extent that I was drunk, never to the extent that I was putting anyone in danger, but I would have 1 or 2 beers a night. Now I'm down to 1 or 2 beers a month. And you know what? I was buying cases of beer at $20 a pop, and I was buying them once a week. So just cutting out drinking, my alcohol budget has gone from $80 to $100 a month down to 10 or 15. So cutting out the vices, cutting out smoking, cutting out drinking. And again, what you're doing is you're making yourself more healthy to be there for your own family. So not only are you getting the financial benefit of cutting out these vices, you're getting the health benefits of cutting out these vices. Now again, in moderation. And again, you got to live your life. So am I saying never have a beer? No. Now, if you have alcohol issues, totally different story. Get professional help. But to cut out the beers, to cut out the cigarettes, to cut out the subscription addictions that you have, to cut out some of these vices, so to speak, whether they're good or bad for you, I really don't care. Cutting them out will help you save that money because you're not spending the money on doing that stuff. What if your vice is buying new shoes? But you're buying new shoes that you don't necessarily need. You're buying new shoes that you're only going to wear once or twice. What if your vice is buying new clothing? But again, it's only clothing you're going to wear once or twice. What if your vice is buying new clothing that you have to dry clean? And so now your dry cleaning bill is through the roof. So again, when I say cut out the vices, I don't mean cut out the things that are bad for you. Or if you do, cut them out in moderation. Don't deprive yourself of living your life. But still, look at your budget and look at, if I went from 1 or 2 beers a day to 1 or 2 beers a month, what would that do to my budget? How much money could I save in my budget by doing that kind of stuff? So again, 18 different ways that either individually or in combination, you'll be able to cut $300 or more from your monthly budget. Episode number 300 of the Crushing Debt podcast. Again, a huge, huge thank you to all of you that are listening today, to all of you that have listened in the past, to all of you that have sent me questions that have become topics on the show, for all of you that have called me and reached out about things you like about the show, things you dislike about the show, to all my sponsors, both current and former sponsors, to all of my guests. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could not have done any of this without you. To the people that pushed me to make this podcast, to the Florida podcaster community, to the BNI and Ascentive communities here in Tampa that really pushed me to get this podcast up and running and off the ground. Thank you, thank you. We've hit episode 300. We've completed episode 300. Ran a little bit long, but I think the content was worth it. I think the celebration is worth it. I will be back next week for episode 301, business as usual. But in the meantime, I hope that at the end of the month you have more money based on today's episode as well, rather than at the end of the money you have more month. That'll do it for our episode number 300, and I look forward to talking to you in next week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast.
If you have questions that you think would make a great topic for a future episode, please email Sean or connect with us on social media. Sean Yesner and Yesner Law, PL, are Florida licensed attorneys. The information contained in this week's episode is not a substitute for legal advice. Your situation may differ, especially if you are located somewhere other than the state of Florida. If you have questions, please contact our office or contact a local attorney. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Crushing Debt Podcast.